Real battles, real people. I'm your host, Christian Bancourt, and I have Dallas with me. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Christian. Great to be here.
So, if you can walk us through your journey.
Okay, let's start with an agreement between you and I. That agreement would be, what does everyone in the world want for their life? Everybody. I mean, there are no exceptions. I believe we all want the same thing. We want peace of mind, beauty, love, and happiness. That's it. That's the whole ball game. We work at jobs. We try to achieve things. We have families. We get through this life to get to where? A place of relaxation, retirement, happiness. So, could you agree with me that we probably all search for the same destination?
100%.
So, that's our purpose. No one has to seek their purpose in life, their meaning. We all know it. We are born with that purpose.
Mhm.
And so the question becomes, what gets in the way? Why aren't we living it? Because we become a story. If I meet Christian at a public event, I say, "Hi, Christian, nice to meet you. Tell me something about yourself." What do? You begin telling me a story, a story about who you are, the masks you wear. You have a work mask, a family mask, a party mask. And these are the pieces of a story that you self identify as. You become your story. Each of us, as in childhood, we are born without a story. You look into a brand new baby's face, and all you see is peace, love, and happiness. But then they begin to build a story, is put on them. You're given a name, you're given a toy you possess, you get external experience, you're told things, you learn things, things happen to you. And we all go through what we call trauma, events of deep pain that stay with us. And we carry, and we start calling it emotional baggage. And this emotional baggage is what I begin to call the story mind, because it is the foundation of the story we identify as. And that's why we carry the negative, the fear and insecurity with us in life. That's why I can tell Christian 10 great things about him right now and then make one criticism. And tonight at the dinner table, Christian's going, "Can you believe that guy said that about me?" But I said 10 great things. But the mind, the story mind, goes straight to the painful, straight to the traumatic, the dramatic, because this is our birth into this experience is trauma. And this becomes the baggage of our life. Now, everyone has it. Now, not everyone gets it driven as deeply. And so not everyone has the pain at the same degree. I came out of my childhood knowing I was stupid. I wasn't good enough. I was a failure. And I carried anger, real deep anger and resentment. For what? For my addiction I came to. The addiction is your addiction and everyone's first addiction. It's called blame. I blame school. I blame the church. I blame Boy Scout leaders and summer camp counselors. I blame them all for hurting me, for making me this angry young man, for making me a constant loser and failure. It was all their fault. And I carry that pain deeply. These bags weighing me down step after step. And it got so heavy, I needed a stronger medication against that pain. So I reached for alcohol. Well, it was wonderful. Instant happiness, good times, partying with friends. Alcohol is terrific. What a great medication. The world is beautiful again. My life is fine. I'm not feeling any pain. But as we know, over time, that medication breaks down and breaks you down. And for me, I then needed more medication. So I added stronger drugs. Then I found a partner, and she was an alcoholic and an addict. So we fit together. It seems normal in a way, in a sense that we are in this story mind together. And so we end up with a house, cars, vacation, two beautiful children, a business together. From the outside world, we look normal. We look successful. Under the roof of that house is a storm, a war zone, an absolute nightmare for anyone close to it. And that pressure builds and builds, and it is expressed in the body eventually. We die from the pressure of our story minds. Some people get heart disease. Some people become obese and get diabetes. Some people get liver disease. That is the body expressing the pressure of the story you live in and you believe you are. So for me, I woke up one morning 4 months into the pandemic with cancer. I went through treatment and surgery, and then my wife and I separated. I lost my house, my family, my business in 1 year. I wake up 1 year to the day later in a pandemic still, and I'm alone, alcoholic, and now I'm suicidal. Which, in that moment of suicidal ideation, it is rational. It is logical. Who wants to stay in this story? Who wants to believe in this pain and suffering? No one. And so I didn't see suicide as something crazy, as something wrong. It was like, my God, I've had enough. My entire life and story is burned to the ground. I'm looking at the ashes. Why would I want to go anywhere? I want to get out. I just want to exit. And so I'm saying this for me. This is speaking to no one else with a suicidal thought. This is mine. That moment is pure emptiness. I call it a purity of pain, that the pain dissolves because there's no feeling. You are entirely numb to the world and to what you thought was your life. It is an emptiness, a darkness of nothingness. And in that moment, I got saved. How did I get saved? Because a year and a half before, I'd had a bout of depression. And depression and my suicidal thought were identical. They were both an emptiness, a desperate nothing in me. And when I put those two together, I just said to myself, oh, I'm not suicidal. I'm having another bout of depression. And as soon as I did that, my mind left the suicidal ideation. Because it just said, oh, you've just imagined this. You're believing something that isn't right. You're confused. And for me, that took me right out of it. Instantly, almost in a way of, wow, that was a silly thought. And in that, I found if we do not attach to the belief we're having, the belief dissolves. It has to be fed by us giving it a meaning and then feeling it. That feeds the belief. If we don't give it meaning or feeling, it can't live. It dissolves on its own because it is not real. It is in us. It is not us. I was not suicidal. I had a suicidal belief. And so that began a trigger of dominoes falling, where within 3 months of that date, I'm listening to a podcast in the background while cooking dinner. And a man is talking about consciousness. And he says this one line. He said, show me yesterday. That was it. I mean, I was on the floor, literally on the floor on my knees. I was shaking. Why? Because we are historical beings. We are our story, our history, our memories, our experiences behind us. My story that I believed took me to the edge of death. It doesn't. There's nothing tangible to it. And so I looked at it and said, the trauma that happened to me 50 years ago, it happened. It's real. It took place. But how did it get here? How did it get with me here? Did someone carry it walking behind me going, I'm coming. I'm right behind you. Don't worry. I'm keeping hold of it. No, I brought it. I'm the one who put the trauma in a bag, gave it meaning, gave it a feeling. I'm the one who connected to it and identified as the person traumatized. I identified with all the pain and anger and suffering. I'm the one who tried to keep it away through addiction because I couldn't face what it was, because I couldn't face my responsibility for me. I was putting the responsibility anywhere and everywhere outside of me because I thought that defended me from the pain. In reality, that is the cause of the pain. When it becomes mine and I own it, there's no pain anymore because I'm allowed to put the bag down. I can't put a bag down when I'm blaming other people for it because then I'm not responsible. I don't own it. And you can only deal with something you own. And so when I realized the story was just the illusion of memory, you can't remember 70% of your life right now. Why? Because you only remember in the theater of your mind. You sit down and you watch a movie over and over and over until you know every line. You have practiced certain memories so they stay with you. You have stopped practicing some and they vanish and disappear. And sometimes you'll ask a friend, do you remember that time? And the friend goes, no, I don't really remember that. Well, why don't they remember it? You remembered it because they didn't play the movie over and over. You did. I met with my 4 brothers and sisters the other day. We were all talking about an event that happened in our lives. We all experienced the same event. We all have completely different stories about it, completely different memories of it. This is the proof. The memory isn't real. Only our regeneration of it. In the moment, we create the memory in ourselves. And that's what we attach to. And we say, oh, yeah, that happened. That's real. It's not real. It's all unreal. It is all the illusion of the mind, the creation, memory and imagination, the past and the future are just illusions that we create, but we spend most of our life living there. You get together with friends. What do you talk about? Only one of 2 things: something that has happened or something you're planning to do that hasn't happened. That's all we do in conversation. So what are we doing there? We're living in the past or the future. We're missing the one place where life is beautiful, lovely, and happy. Right here, right now. The only place we've ever lived. But we're in this imagined story of yesterday and tomorrow. And the whole world is in the same story. There is a collective story mind. I can convince a whole nation of people that they should be afraid to the point they'll pick up guns and kill other people. What is war? It's a belief in a story. My side is right, your side is wrong. I am good, you are evil. This is a story. This is Hollywood. And we live in that belief. That baby's face, newborn baby of beauty and love and happiness. 4 months ago, my mother died. And 2 hours before she died, I looked in her face and I only saw the baby's face. I only saw the beauty, love, and happiness of life. Not a sadness, just life, the being. In between is this story, this drama, a Netflix series we live in and we struggle with and we feel the pain of. And it's self-created. It doesn't exist. At any moment, you go for a walk in the woods or down by the ocean and you feel this sense of just release. That's the real you right there. Because you're getting out of your story for a moment. We do it all the time. We have these happy, light moments in our day and just, That's you releasing your story for just a second, and then you return to it because somebody at work just said something, and now you're pissed off, and this is going on, and you're struggling, and your kids are annoying you, and that's the story. We have the ability to leave the story, to not identify. Why do I need an identity? Why should I be identified as anything? I'm just that loving, beautiful human being. That's all. And it's all we want to be.
Wow, that was moving.
Man, it's you know why it's so hard for people to see this? Because we've been taught since we were children that everything is complex, everything is big, everything is a struggle. Life is hard. We're taught this over and over. Guess what? Life is simple. Life is easy. You just don't take it seriously. We take this stuff so seriously it hurts us. We are so attached to the outside that we're hurt by it. I love you and you love me. You take your love away, I'm heartbroken. How could you do that? You can't hurt me. It's me that did it. It's always me that does it. No
Makes
one can
total
hurt me.
sense.
No one can disappoint me. No one can make me happy or sad. It's me. I'm responsible for it always. You can't be hurt. You can only hurt yourself. But you can get so involved in the story. People watch a movie and they're brought to tears. Deep emotional feeling in a movie, watching it. How's that possible? Because we are a story. We understand the feeling of believing the story. And that's what we're lost in. And we don't have to be there.
With this realization, this was what kept you alive, and your thought process was different, right?
Yes. Yes, I call it it's thoughtless. What is thoughtless? Here's my theory. You have thinking and you have thoughting. You have thoughts and you have thinks. Do you have thinks? No, you have thoughts. Do you do thoughting? No, you do thinking. Why are they separate? Because thoughts are not thinking, they are memories arising from your story. A thought just comes to you. You don't ask for it. Thinking is sitting down in attention and saying, I need to work on this. I need to figure this out. I need to plan this, whatever. That's thinking. That's what your school gave you. That's skills. That's arts. That's your ability to do stuff in the physical world. That's thinking, your brain. Thoughts are not your brain. They're your mind, your story, your beliefs. The thought comes up, oh, you dummy, don't screw up. Who said that? Your story, the ego, your past that told you you weren't good enough. That's the voice in our heads that we battle with. And those are thoughts. They're not us. So I learned to be awake and see the thought arrive. So I get up one morning and I drop my coffee mug and it smashes. And in the old day, I would go, you idiot. What a dummy. Pay attention. You stupid. Now the thought comes up, you idiot. And I go, oh, that's not me. That's just my story mind. I don't pay attention. And guess what? It just evaporates. And I don't spiral and I'm not angry. It's that simple. We pay attention to a memory, we live in the memory. And if the memory hurts, we hurt. We pay attention to an anxiety of something that might happen tomorrow, and we're upset. And we're upset right now thinking about tomorrow. But it's not real. So if you don't pay attention to the past or the future, you're here. There's nowhere else you could be. And we all learned this in grade 1. Our first day of school. Teacher walks to the front of the class and goes, "Attention, children, attention. This is a secret to life." Then she said, "Okay, who's here? Christian, present. Dallas, present. What did we just learn? To be in attention and be present. It's the
Beautiful.
only way we could learn." That was the secret to our entire life. And then we fell into a story of the past and a story about the future, and we lived there instead of attention. It was that simple, and we missed it. And they missed it. And people have been discussing this for thousands of years because the story is so powerful, because it's dramatic. The reality is, when you're in attention, Christian and Dallas right here talking, there's nothing special happening. There's no drama. There's no great movie being played. And our ego says, "This is boring. Get out of here. You need stuff to be happening." Reality is the crazy world around you. Reality is the politics and the economics and the politicians and medical worries and concerns and the kids and getting to school and getting to work. And that's the drama. And the ego wants you there. The ego doesn't want you to be in attention, together, sharing life. No. There's no fun there to the ego. And that's the power of the story. That's why we're drawn there so easily, and we fall into this sleepwalking. "Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention." Really? Where were you? You're alive. You could only be going to your past or your future if you're not paying attention. So the secret is really simple. If you pay attention, you can't be in your past or your future. Your brain won't allow your mind to enter if you're in attention. That's how our heads work. While we are in attention, nothing else. We call it flow sometimes. You're doing work and you're just working away. You're in attention and going. All of a sudden, it's 3 hours later. Oh, what happened? You missed time because time is in the past and future. It's not in the present. People say to me, "Wow, but now you're like 67 years old and, time's gone by. You've missed out on so much." I go, "No, I've got all day. I've always got all day. There is no time. I'm here. Time happens if I worry about the past. Oh man, I just wasted 60 years. Oh my God, look at all the time. Or I've got this dream and in 10 years I'm gonna, 10 years of time." No, you're here right now. You already won. You've achieved everything. This is the beauty of life. It's happening right now. It doesn't happen in 10 years. It didn't happen 10 years ago. It happens now. It's just, the simplicity is just crazy. And it's just happy. That's all you are. Everything else is a creation. All suffering, all pain, all worry, all stress is just a creation of the past or future. It can't exist here and now because here we are. Somebody the other day said, "Yeah, but I've been diagnosed as anxiety disorder." And I go, "Oh, did you go somewhere and get infected by someone?" "Well, no." "Well, how did you get this anxiety disorder?" Well, I don't know." Well, who knows? No one knows. "I see. So there isn't a place in your brain where anxiety is?" Well, I don't know. 75 million Americans have been told they have a brain chemical imbalance. We don't know how to measure brain chemicals. What are we doing telling people that? We are this creature of a story, and we need the drama. We need the answer. And the answer is in this story. We've got 100 years of psychology, talk therapy, psychoactive drugs. And where are we? More people on those drugs than ever before in history. More people in talk therapy than ever before in history. More young people suffering suicidal ideation and mental health concerns than ever before in history. What have we done with 100 years of the greatest psychological minds in history? It's worse. Why? Because we've inflated the story. We told you you're broken. There's something wrong with you. You need to heal. You need to fix the inner child. You need to live it and get through it. I say BS. No one heals. No one has ever healed from any trauma, from any worry or concern. They have left it behind. It cannot be healed because it is your past. You can't go back in time and heal something. That's an illusion. And so, what does psychology do? It offers us coping skills. It offers us self management techniques, meditation, breath work, walking in nature, exercise. What are these things? They are techniques to manage our story, to deal with the pain of our story, but not to heal our story, because you can't heal it. You can only leave your story. I left my story. I was one of the lucky ones. It got burned to the ground. I was given a black and white choice: die or be anew without a story. And it was just obvious and simple once it happened. The simplicity was stunning. Today, 2.5 years later, I still wake up every day and I'm shocked at how great it is. Because there's no baggage to carry. There's no weight on my shoulders. It doesn't exist because I don't have the story. I don't play in it. I don't entertain a memory. I don't worry about tomorrow because I'm here. It's today. I can't control tomorrow. I can only control what I do. And so I do the best I can just to be me and loving and happy. And guess what? It works. And I wake up tomorrow and I get this gift. Another day. I get to do it again. It's fabulous. What an incredible gift. And we play around in a story and pretend it's something else, this drama that isn't real. So many people come near the end of their life, and what do? They look back and go, all that crap I thought was important, turns out it really wasn't. They all come to that realization. Why? Because they're looking back at this story and going, Jesus, I believed that crap? What was wrong with me? Well, you were blind. You were in the story. You thought that's what you were. That's why you can't heal, because you're in the story. You can't fix something you're inside of. This is why the self-improvement industry, 100 years of that. And what have we done? Nothing. 100 years of the self-improvement, personal development industry. Every human on the planet should be superhuman right now. Why hasn't it worked? Because they're trying to impose a fix on top of a story you actually believe is you. The who you are is this image, this story, this self-identification. What you are is that baby or that mother at the end of her life, the beauty and love and happiness. In between is the story that clouds the whole thing and we think is our real life. It's not. And we've all had moments and glimpses of the real life. That's that down by the ocean, walk on in the woods, and you have those moments of just clarity and beauty and go, wow, life is great. Every time you have that moment, that's the real you, not clouded by the story.
What what would you say to a veteran that came back from war, saw death, lost guys, has PTSD, depression, anxiety? What would you say to them?
I've changed the words to PTSD. It's not post-traumatic stress disorder. I believe it's past thought story disorder. And if you can see the difference, it is I have experienced things. I have created memories out of them. Experience has no meaning, right? Anything that happens in our life doesn't come with a meaning. It's just an experience. We have to take the experience, turn it into something that means something to us, and that generates feelings that we carry in us, that we call the trauma, the disorder. But the disorder is the story itself. We were there fighting in a story of us and them, good and bad. We are in this drama and then taking the baggage of it and making it me. I am connecting to it and saying, that was me. And I took it and said, no, that wasn't me. That was a story I believed was me. The thing happened. The person died. I witnessed these horrible events. But the events are not me. They're only an experience that I carry with me. And that distinction has to become so strong that you realize you are believing the story you carry. There is nothing to believe. It is just an experience. The experience is not you. Only you can make the experience you. The carrying of the bags. You actually take care of it. You actually love it in a way. You hold it in your arms and say, this is mine. This experience is my experience. We all say this. Well, there's nothing that is yours, though, really. It's this idea of ownership and possession. My wife. Really? Do you own her? My kids. Really? Do you own them? My car. My food, my house, my clothes. This possession is part of the distorted story. Because everything is external to us. We think everything outside is the pain. But it's our possession of it that is the pain. It's our choice to hold it. The trauma I kept alive by keeping it as me, by saying I owned it. It was mine. It's just an event. The separation is not easy. I'm not pretending this is a simple thing to do. But we are believers. That is the machinery of our brains, is belief. You have believed things 10 years ago, Christian, that you don't believe today. You will believe things in 10 years that you don't believe today. So you have to examine what is the truth of a belief. What is its actual truth? The truth is it was an event that happened. The truth is not that it is my event that is me. That is only a belief. And beliefs aren't truths. We prove that every day by changing beliefs. A friend of mine who drank with me for 10 years at the same pub every day ended up on the streets, fentanyl, homeless. We've seen them all in the news. Maybe you've seen them in your hometown. I don't know. Right? His story that he believed took him there. How is that any different than a veteran and the incredible pain and intensity of their trauma? It's no different. He believed this and he went there. What happened to him is so instructive. He found God. A street ministry came by and caught his attention. And he got on board. And he says, now Jesus saved me. And my addictions vanished. And my disorders went away. And I'm happy and healthy. How did that happen? Because he changed belief from one story that was killing him to a new story that saved him. That's all that happened. Life is that simple. If we believe and hold the pain and anger and memory, then we are that. But our brains are so powerful, they can disbelieve. They can disregard memory. Is it easy? No. And for some people, they can't find that. But it's there for everyone. I truly, completely believe it. You just can't go through a burned down life and world that I went through and not see that it was just a memory, an imagined belief in a story that I thought was me to these great traumatic events. the drama of the story. From the time we're children, our parents read us story time at bedtime, or fairy tales. We are brought up and stewed in the idea of story being life. And this is this easy attachment to the traumatic, because that's a dramatic story. And we are already story susceptible beings. And so to disregard story is hard, because we spent all our years practicing being who we think we are in the story. But we have practiced it. We have carried the trauma and practiced it. We have relived it, reimagined it, regurgitated it, replayed it over in our minds. We practice this thing until it is us. And it's no different than anything else. You can practice a different story. You can practice a different belief until you believe it. That's all the world does. Now, my government tells me this country over here hates me. This country is building weapons. They're going to attack me. They want me dead. If I believe that story, and my government says it over and over and over, and I start saying it to myself and saying it in conversation with friends, and pretty soon we all believe it, then all of a sudden we take up arms and go to war and kill for a story. We had to believe this story to take that action. And we do it every day in the smallest of ways. I go to work happy as can be. I walk in and I go, oh, hope I don't see Dave. He's a real jerk. That's a quick little story. And all of a sudden, I'm worried about seeing Dave and some problem I might have. This is how we live in stories all day long. And how this attention and awareness takes us out of story. Every person I've worked with deep trauma will have moments where they're just happy and not understand why. And then they're back and they're anxious and they're worried and they're upset and they get in angry arguments and they fight and they struggle because they go back to the story. We all have glimpses of leaving the story, and that's the reality. That's the place we drive the wedge in with attention and awareness and say, oh, this is me. I need to focus there. I need to stay here. Not in that imagined monster. Not the boogeyman under my bed that my parents put in my head with bedtime stories. Because all trauma is the boogeyman under the bed. It is the story eating you alive to the point I'll commit suicide over the story. So deeply believed. And it's just a belief. And when the rational mind examines any belief, we see it's not real. I have to believe it. And I can disbelieve it. And that's the work.
Dallas, as we close out, what is a message that you would tell someone that's listening right now that is at the point that their life is over?
Hmm. You know, and I'm sure, Christian, you would agree. In that moment, you can't be told anything. You are not. I mean, for me, when I was in that moment, I had no radar. I had no ability to hear or see the world around me. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know in any clear moment is to ask yourself, what if? What if I'm thinking the wrong thing? What if this memory is wrong? What if this story isn't true? What if, do you know what I mean? That's what happens, because I think we all have the answer already inside of us. We just get so clouded by the story. And that's why when you're in suicidal ideation, you cannot be told. That's oh, don't jump, take my hand. This is you, not someone else. And the you already knows the truth. I think the you is confused and lying to itself because it's a story lying to you. and it's not the truth of you. And you have to what if yourself. What if I'm wrong? What if this isn't what I'm feeling? What if I've confused? What if I've believed? What if I've created? What if? It's not saying it is or isn't, but what if? We are imagined beings. We imagine our lives in a great degree. That's what past and future is about. So, what if I'm imagining incorrectly? What if?
It makes total sense. What if? That's happened a few times with me. What if?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, Dallas, I want to thank you so much for being on my podcast. You shared such an inspirational message for people to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christian. And thank you for doing the podcast because that's the great work.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
This is real battles, real people. Take care, everybody.